Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome back to Easy Mathematics. We thank God today is Friday. Today we want to continue with the recalling of fractions where we were in Basic 6. We were supposed to look at how to convert fractions into common fractions into decimals, decimals into percentages, and vice versa. But if you visit our previous videos, we were able to talk about these things which we were recalling or introducing the topic and the strand number. Today we want to also recall on how to order and compare fractions. So we want to look at ordering and comparing of common decimals and percentages. So we want to use these three together and know how to compare or order fractions. So we want to start with the first one. We have here compare the following common fractions using the less than, the greater than, or the equal to signs. How can we compare these common fractions? Good. Now, before we can compare the first one, which is 1 over 2 and 3 over 5, before we can compare, we have to know certain things, or we can use some easy method to compare these two. But first we have to know the less than, the function, the greater than, and the equal to. Now if you have been given 1 over 2 to compare with 3 over 5, now with this approach there is no need for you to find LCM. Look at the first fraction here. What is the numerator? The numerator is 1. Then look at the second fraction here. What is the denominator? 5. So multiply this one by 5. So 5 times 1 will give you 5. So record the 5 here. Then we will take this numerator to multiply the denominator. We will take this denominator to multiply this numerator. So 2 times 3 will give us 6. So we are going to compare using 5 and 6. Now 5 is less than 6. So we are going to bring the less than sign, which says that 5 is less than 6. Which means 1 over 2 as a fraction is also less than 6. And this is how we compare with less than 3 over 5, And this is how we compare fractions or common fractions. Let me go over it again. To compare fractions, we are going to use the numerator here to multiply the denominator. So this numerator 1 will multiply the denominator 5. And 1 times 5 is 5. So we record it up there. Then we use the denominator here to multiply the numerator, which means we are trying to do cross multiplication. So if this 2 multiplies the 3, we are going to get 6. So we are coming to compare using the 5 that we have here and the 6. Now 5 is less than 6. Because 5 is less than 6, it means 1 over 2 is less than 3 over 5. Let's use the same idea here, the cross multiplication method. Now if we cross multiply, the 8 will multiply 5. And 8 times 5 is 40. So we will write it this side. We'll cross multiply. Then the 9 will also multiply 3. 9 times 3 is 27. Then you ask yourself, 40 and 27. You can see that 40 is greater than 27. So which sign will come here? The greater than sign, which is 40 is greater than 27. Which means 8 over 9 is greater than 3 over 5. And that's how we compare. Very easy, because this is easy mathematics. We make it easy for you. So if you do your cross multiplication, you compare using your answers after the multiplication. Then you look at the sign you are going to bring. Now let's look at the last one. 4 over 5, we are comparing it to 2 over 3. So you do your cross multiplication, where the numerator will multiply this denominator, the denominator will multiply this numerator. So let's try the multiplication and see. If 3 multiplies 4, or 3 times 4, we are going to get 12. Then we'll use this 5 to multiply 2. If 5 multiplies 2, we are going to get 10, because 5 times 2 is 10. So we will compare using these whole numbers, 10, 12, and 10. We can see that this 12 is greater than the 10. So which sign will come? The greater than sign, which means 4 over 5 is greater than 2 over 3. And this is the easiest way we can use to compare common fractions. When you use this cross multiplication, it's going to work for all, because with this one we've omitted the LCM, and it is the easiest way. Still on the comparing and ordering. Now we have here, we are to order the following fractions. Order the following fractions. Now when it comes to ordering, we have to know ascending and descending order. If you visit our previous videos, we have more explanations on this topic. So I'm to ascend. He says you have order the following: 1 over 2, 3 over 5, and 1 over 3 in ascending order. So you ask yourself, what is the meaning of ascending order? Ascending order simply means the arrangement should be from the least to the highest. So how can I compare the fractions that I have here? 1 over 2, 3 over 5, and 1 over 3. How can I know the least, the highest? Now when it comes to the ordering of fractions, 3 or 4 fractions, I have to find my LCM, or I'm to calculate for my LCM. And how can I get the LCM? You can get the LCM by multiplying all the denominators. What are the denominators? 2, 5, and 3. Multiply these denominators. If you multiply 2 by 5, you are going to get 10. 10 by 3 will give you 30. So it means the LCM for these denominators will give us 30. Now, if we have the denominator, if you have the LCM, which is going to be the overall denominator, take the first fraction and ask yourself, the denominator there, how many times will the denominator divide or go into 30? 2 will divide 30 15 times. So we will use this 15, which will be the answer after dividing, to multiply the numerator on 1. So 2 will go into 30 15 times. 15 times 1 is going to give us 15. So it means this 1 over 2 is now 15 over 30. Then you come to the second fraction. Locate the denominator. Ask yourself, 5 will go into 30 how many times? Or 5 will divide 30 how many times? 5 will go into 30 6 times. So if 5 will go into 30 6 times, we are going to use the 6 to multiply the numerator on 5. And 6 times 3 will give us 18. Which means the 3 over 5 is now 18 over 30. Then I have the last denominator as 3. 3 will go into 30 10 times. So you use the 30 to multiply, we are going to get 10. Now we can compare because they are all having the same or common denominator. With this one, we can't compare because the denominators are different. But this one, the 1 over 2 is now 15 over 30. 3 over 5 is now 18 over 30. 1 over 3 is now 10 over 30. So they all have the same denominators. So what is the question asking? The question is asking to arrange in ascending from the least to the highest. And this 10 here is the least among all. And the 10 here represents 1 over 3. This 18 is for 3 over 5. And the 15 is for 1 over 2. So if I'm to arrange in ascending order, the least is 10, which represents or which stands for 1 over 3. So it means 1 over 3 will come. Now the 10 is out. I'm left with 15 and 18. The smallest, or the smaller number there is 15. And this 15 represents 1 over 2. So 1 over 2 will be the next number. Then the highest is 18, which is 3 over 5. And I've been able to arrange this fraction in ascending order as 1 over 3 being the least of all, followed by 1 over 2, then finally 3 over 5 as the greatest. So when we say ascending, it means the least should come first. Now we have number 2, which says, order the following, which is 5 over 7, 2 over 3, and 3 over 21, in descending. And there's another word here we have to know the meaning. Descending. It is the opposite of ascending. So if ascending from the least to the highest, for the descending from the highest to the least. So with this, I've been given 5 over 7, 2 over 3, and 3 over 21. I am to descend this fraction, sorry. Now, the denominators that we have here are not the same, or they are not common. So I have to find LCM for the 3 denominators, which is 7, 3, and 21. But when it comes to the denominators here, we can see that 7 can go into 21, which is one of the denominators. Then 3 can also go into 21, which is also one of the denominators. So with this one, we are not going to multiply just the way we did here. Here we multiply because none can go into the other. So because 3 and 7 can divide or go into 21, we'll just go straight forward to take the LCM to be 21. Because 7 and 3 are factors of 21. So because 7 and 3 are factors of 21, we'll use the LCM or choose 21 as the LCM. So we are going to ask ourselves, 7 will go into the LCM, which is 21. How many times? 3 times. Then you use the 3 to multiply the number on 7, which is 5. And 3 times 5 is 15. Then you come to the 3. 3 will go into 21 how many times? 7 times. 7 multiplying 2 will give us 14, because 2, 7, 14. Then we have 21. 21 will divide 21 1, or 20 will go into 21 1 time. Then we use the 1 to multiply the numerator, giving us 3. So now 5 over 7 is 15 over 21. 2 over 3 is 14 over 21. 3 over 21 is the same as 3 over 21. Now these 3 fractions, they have a common denominator, which we can compare using the numerators here. Now it says in descending order, the highest should come first. So in descending order, looking at the values here, 15, 14, and 3, which one is the highest? It's 15. And this 15 corresponds to this. So this will give me 5 over 7 as the first value. So 15 is out. Now 14 and 3, which one is greater? It's 14. And it represents this. So 2 over 3 will come. Then finally 3 over 21. and I have been able to descend this fraction, that is from the highest to the least. So that is how we order common fractions. If you have to do that, you just make sure that they have the same denominators, that will be in common. You compare using the numerators, then we are good to go. Now let's continue by looking at order the following. Now when you look at this question carefully, you have a common fraction, you have a decimal, and you have a percentage, and you have to descend it. Now you cannot descend or order if these fractions are not the same, because you can't compare this one to this if this and this are not the same. Neither can you compare this one to this if they are also not the same. So now what are the fractions I'm to descend? I'm to descend 3 over 4, 0.48, and 21%. Since I'm to descend this, and this, I'll choose. Should I let all be in percentage, or decimal, or common fraction? In my opinion, or in the easiest way to descend, let all be in percentages. If they are all in percent, the comparison will be more easier to compare or to order. So this, I'll convert it into percentage. I'll convert this one also in percentage. This one is already in percentages, so I'll not touch it. So now I have 4 over 3. So how can I convert 4 over 3 into percentage? 3 over 4 into percentage. To compare 3 over 4 into percentage, just multiply this by 100. So how can I deal with this? 3 over 4 times 100. The denominator can divide this number. So 4 will go into itself 1, and 4 will go into 100 25 times. You can also use 2 to divide till you get to the 25. Now I'm having 3 times 25. And 3 times 25 is going to give me 75%. Why did I bring the percent? Because I have changed the 3 over 4 into percentage. Now I have 21% and 75%. So I'm now going to change this one, 0.48, into percentage. Now I'm having 0.48. To change also into percentage, multiply by 100. And if you multiply this by 100, you are going to get 48%. How? Take off the decimal point, multiply by 100, bring back the decimal point. And this is going to give you 48%. Now I'm having 21%, 75%, 48%. They are all common. They are all in percentage. So I can now order the fraction. Good. And we have to descend it. So 21, 75 and 48. Which one is the greatest? Because he says descend. 75 is the greatest. So I'm going to write 75% first, followed by 48%, followed by 21%. I have ordered these fractions. But I will ask a question. When the question was given, were we giving 75%? No. Were we giving 48%? No. Were we giving 21? Yes. So the ones that we were not giving, you just change them back. So this 75%, it represents or corresponds to 3 over 4. So it means 3 over 4 will come first, followed by 48, which is the 0.48. Then finally 21%. We apologize for making it too close. So this 75% is the 3 over 4, which is first. This 48% is the 0.48, which is the next one. And 21%, which was given in the question, is the least of all, because I have arranged in descending order of magnitude. Let's look at the last one. Arrange 0.45, 3 over 5, and 86% in ascending order. These are the fractions. 0.45, 3 over 5, and 86%. How can I order this in ascending? To do that, we have to make sure that all these three are common. Decimal, common fraction, percentage. You can't order it. So what do we do? Change the decimal into percentage and the common also in percentage. So to change this one into percentage, which is a 0.45, multiply it by 100. If you multiply this by 100, you are going to get 45%. Then you also multiply 3 over 5 by 100. If you multiply 3 over 5 by 100, we can say 5 will go into itself 1, and 5 will go into 100 20 times. If you multiply 3 times 20, that gives you 60%. So now we have 86%, 45%, and 60%. They are all in percentage, which means they are common. We can now compare. So it says compare or order in ascending. The least should come. 45, 86, 60. Which one is the least? The least is 45. So 45% should come first. Followed by 60%. Then finally 86%. But from the question, we were not given 45%. We were not given 60%. But we converted it into percentages to make the calculation more easier or more easier for us. So I'm just going to write a 45% back into what the question gave me, which is 0.45. So the first one, or the least figure, is 0.45, which is less than 60%, which is 3 over 5. And the last one, 86%. And this is how we compare and order fractions, percentages, and decimals. This is a recall. We've talked about this. For more explanation and examples, visit our previous videos about fractions, where we have how to even convert into percentages, decimals, and common fractions. Thank you for staying tuned. This is Easy Mathematics. Please don't forget to hit the subscription button. Please don't forget to hit the subscription button for you to be notified when a video drops. God bless you for staying tuned. Next week, if God permits, when we meet here, we are going to talk about shapes and space in Form 2. In Form 2. We want to talk about the nets, perimeters, the properties of quadrilaterals. Then later, we'll come back to Form 1 and talk about fraction, addition and subtraction of fraction. Thank you for staying tuned. This is Easy Mathematics. See you next week. Bye-bye.